SNAP benefits will not be issued for the month of November.
SNAP benefits will not be issued for the month of November.
My name is Crystal. I am a social worker and a caseworker. I have been working in the social service field for over 10 years. I also worked at the SNAP Welfare Food Stamp Office for over 6 years. I have processed hundreds of SNAP cases, and in this video, I will explain to you what's happening with November SNAP benefits. Due to the government shutdown, many states are now sending out notifications stating that they do not have the funds to issue SNAP benefits for the month of November. The federal government has already informed all states that it will not fund November's benefits. And since the funding for SNAP comes from the federal government, the states literally have no money to pay out. Some states are outright saying that they will not issue November's benefits, and some states have not confirmed it yet. I'll just tell you, if you receive SNAP benefits, please be careful on how you spend October's benefits, because there will be no more SNAP issued until this shutdown ends.
Government is supposed to be there to pick citizens up when they're down. This is why I've been saying for years, you can't rely on them. It's like they set up 40-something million Americans to be dependent on a system that they were going to pull the rug from under them. The SNAP program, EBT, is remnants of 20th century entitlements that they call them, that they've been wanting to take away forever. But they do it when we're at our most vulnerable, by design. Y'all have to remember, they told us that by 2030 we'll own nothing and be happy. They're bringing us to our knees. Now, I don't get EBT. I don't qualify, really. Whenever I've tried to sign up for EBT, even though I make the minimalist of wages out here, it's like 18 to 20 something dollars. Not worth jumping through the hoops I would have to go through to get that 18 to something dollars every month. And by the way, I'm not on here judging people that get EBT, because if I could get the shit, I would too. Because as you can see by the looks of my refrigerator, it is skimp. I got a bag of condiments and some cheese back here. And I'm gonna make it happen. Some people that live in certain states, there isn't necessarily a limit on how much EBT they will get depending on how many kids they got. Some people over get over $2,000. Some people getting upwards over $10,000 in EBT money to take care of their kids every month. And in November, that money is not going to be there. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, these people should get a job. Hey, I'm not going to necessarily disagree with it. And I'm not going to necessarily disagree that a lot of these people shouldn't be having kids. But it ain't just those people who are going to suffer from not getting EBT. It ain't just the people that are going to the, abusing the system, not trying to better themselves, not trying to get a job, relying on the system, probably because they were raised to rely on the system. It's not just them, but it's old people that have put into the system and have worked in the system forever. People that have disabilities, like my kid's mom, who's blind, who's gotten food stamps her entire life because she can't necessarily get a job right off the rip. There are ladies that I work with that are in their 60s that come into the restaurant, and like I'm telling you, even the corporate restaurant that I work for this week got a letter telling us that business is going to be slow. And I wanted to say, no shit, sweetheart, it's been slow for the last few freaking months. I mean, it's been horribly slow for the last few months. And we got a letter recently saying that this government shutdown is going to affect us, because all of this trickles down to everywhere. Okay. If a good portion of society is not going to these brick and mortar stores to go into the grocery section, like the Walmarts or the Targets, y'all have to understand that a lot of these brick and mortar stores like Walmart, a good portion of their revenue comes from the grocery portion of the store. Even when I worked for Walmart, being in there when the 1st or the 15th or whatever happened, sometimes the 9th for some reason, would hit, and people coming there to spend their food stamps, that is a big revenue boom for the store. Hours go up, all of that, because you have to take care of those people. But when that goes down, what do you think is going to happen for the people that have obviously jobs? And a lot of people that work at Walmart or work at these restaurants or work in retail are also benefiting from getting food stamps, because they may have kids and all this other stuff, right? And there's not enough money in the system. Because I know a lot of people are laughing, haha, good, that bitch got to get a job now. Absolutely, she's gonna have to figure something out. But this is going to reverberate throughout the entire economy. Okay, so now you're going to have a lot of people who probably supplement their income with EBT. And before you say, oh, because I know it's easy to point out the stereotypes, because EBT talk is full of the goddamn stereotypes of the welfare queens that are freaking overweight, feeding these kids all this junk food. Absolutely. But a good portion of the freaking SNAP benefits go to red states who obviously voted in one direction. But like I said, I'm not trying to make this political, because we're all suffering. That's what they want us to do. They want us to go back and forth. That's why they showed us all these Venezuelans getting all this money. It was a setup. Y'all say, well, the Democrats did that. The Republicans are trying to correct it. No, it's a design. They're on the same team. The Democrats set it up so that the Republicans can knock it down. And when they knock it down, they knock us all down. They knock everybody down. And when I say us, I mean society. 43 million Americans that have relied on government assistance because this economy ain't the greatest. I don't care what the fucking stock market's saying. I don't care what your crypto portfolio saying. The economy's trash, okay? You have 40-something million Americans that rely on this, not about to get their benefits going into November, going into the holiday season, going into Thanksgiving. It's a setup. How do you think that's going to make people feel?
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
Do you think people are going to feel good if all of a sudden in the middle of October they tell them, okay, yeah, y'all are probably not going to get food stamps for November? They've already spent up the money, financially responsible or not, for October. Going into November, their kids ain't going to have nothing to eat. These people going to feel desperate. They're going to feel entitled. You understand? Some of them are going to take that out on society. And y'all think that, okay, y'all are immune to that. None of us are immune to them purposely crashing a system like this, because from what I'm hearing, they don't even want to open the government back up until November 21st. But when they need to cast another vote or something like that, they're not even worried about it because it's by design. People are going to go into this holiday season hurting. But I look at this as an opportunity for society to get its head out of its ass and for us to work together, not to necessarily spite the government, but to help ourselves to become a community again. If you have family, if you have friends, y'all can come together and survive the coming storm, because obviously it's a storm. And the people that are in the current regime, the puppets, the figureheads, the people that are the frontward face of the machine right now are telling you, we're about to take y'all through some suffering. I would tell y'all to listen to that shit. And what's really happening is that the United States empire as a whole has already fucking collapsed. And they just putting band-aids where they can to hold this fucking house of cards up, because we're pretty much insolvent. We're in debt like a motherfucker, and they're going to default on that fucking debt. That's why they're robbing us blind. Going back to 2020, all that money that went up out the country, all that money that went up overseas, all that money that went into these private bank accounts. The fact that last weekend they pulled the rug under the crypto bros, took a lot of people's money. You had freaking crypto traders taking themselves up out the game. It's happening, or it has happened. We're just in the midst of it. We are the pawns. We are the ones that are experiencing it. And the people that are on EBT, that are at the lowest around, they don't give a fuck what happens to you. You understand? I know people will say, well, get a job. What jobs? They just laid off 16,000 people. Nestle just laid off 16,000 people. Okay? That's a whole plant. And probably a red state, or probably somewhere where it's rural, where people rely on that plant. 16,000 people is a lot of people. A lot of American jobs gone. They're going to enter a workforce right now where everybody's competing for these little minimum wage ass jobs at freaking Walmart or whatever restaurant you're working at Wendy's or whatever. They're going to enter the people that work at the Nestle plant, the people that got laid off from Microsoft, the people that were told to code, to go to college to code, but now AI have your job. All these people are entering a workforce that is fragile as fucking fuck. And they ain't gonna be able to get food stamps at the end of the day. We're fucked. All you can do is laugh, right? Because like I say, eventually it trickles down to like me. That's why the restaurant's been slow, because people have this uncertainty. Government workers come into the restaurant and spend money because they have a guaranteed check. You think this month they know if they're going to get a paycheck at the end of October or beginning of November or the 15th of next month? No, they don't know that, because their leaders are telling them, hey, well, we don't know what to tell you. You may not get a fucking check. That's what I'm saying. This reverberates. So I know there's a lot of people celebrating the fact that the welfare queens, the people that purposely have kids with all these different men or whatever, and get on welfare and just live what probably looks like high on a hog, right?
If you're one of the ones hoping that the government shuts down EBT, you are pathetic. People like myself need the money. We need the money to survive. Here comes along your little ignorant ass, hoping and praying the government shutdown affects people's EBT money. But I guess what? Even if it temporarily does, we will still get that money back. So don't get your panties in a bunch. We're still gonna get that money one way or the other. Because like I've said in my other videos, it's not my fault that I had 3 kids.
But this is going to reverberate throughout the entire nation. It just is. No matter how you slice it, everybody is going to go through it because of this. Now, I know there's a lot of men saying, well, this is winter. Winter has come. This is what Kevin Samuels was talking about. Winter has come. This is gonna bring a lot of these women to their knees, bro. Your industry's going to suffer. My industry's going to suffer. This, like I say, this house of cards has already started to collapse, guys. This is what we're seeing. All this dog and pony show about, oh, the government shut down and they can't come to an agreement. Bro, we send these people there, they're still getting paid. We send these people there to launder money, still get paid off the taxpayer money. They just bailed out Argentina, I think 20 to 40 billion dollars of our money, but EBT's insolvent, Snap's insolvent. They want to raise freaking the insurance on fucking people. Gut, what are they? Obamacare that kept these subsidies down for a lot of people that can't afford insurance. They don't give a fuck about y'all. So the people that keep saying, oh, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, you're neither. You're not on their team, bro. Y'all are not on their team. They benefit. They're being paid. TSA ain't being paid. Government workers are not being paid right now. They have to worry whether or not they're going to get a check. Congress don't have to worry about that. Y'all not on their team. So stop fucking picking a side and come together to know that we all, Democrat, Republican, black, white, left, right, whatever you may be, we live in this motherfucking economy and we got to pull our head out of our ass and work together. That's the solution. Us together. Now, if you do have the means to drive a stake into the heart of this fucking, this corporate vampire conglomerate government or whatever, do it. And I mean that for the TSA agents. If they're threatening y'all's jobs because they're not paying y'all, but y'all not going to work, so gonna keep the planes out the sky. And they got, because I already heard stories of them hiring temps and stuff that are being super lax on their checks already. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden you get Allah, Allahu Akbar, Allah, Allah, Allah. Because the government is shut down. But I would sit up there and say to all of y'all, walk the fuck off the jobs. Y'all have the means to keep shit grounded. That will force them to go and vote. These motherfuckers have to fly. They can't fly their private jets if there's no fucking air traffic controller. You understand? So y'all need to fucking get y'all head out your ass and realize that the power has always been in the fucking people. It still is, bro. Don't let them like push us over this cliff like they're trying to do. Because that's what they're trying to do. They're making us desperate. They're pinning us up like so that they can control us even more so. And when they play this divide and conquer shit, this left, right, Charlie Kirk, fucking Deontay Kyle, all these names that don't mean shit to most of us, honestly, at the end of the fucking day, right? And we have these arguments about who's a coon and who should be on what side and what that doesn't mean anything when the economy is fucking on its knees. Never in my life did I think the government just say, yeah, y'all niggas ain't gonna, everybody's gonna get cut off at the same time, right? I knew it'd come, but I thought it would be an eventual thing. But the fact that these motherfuckers are out here saying that y'all niggas is not gonna get food stamps in November is a cause for concern to me, even though I don't get food stamps, because I'm worried about the fucking world. I'm worried about the niggas that rely on that money coming through, not having that money come through, and what they gonna do. You understand? What the desperation that's gonna be in them. They kids gotta eat too. I'm just saying. And you're like, just get it out. Well, like I said, this economy ain't the best to be getting a job. So what they gonna do? What they gonna do? So for all the people that are living high on the hog, that is good and it's don't affect you. Remember that motherfuckers in desperate times that are typically decent people can come and take from you. And if you ain't got security forces, you ain't in the gated community, if you ain't got high walls and fucking and armament, you're probably fucking vulnerable to the fucking wolves out here, bro. Don't be so quick to celebrate all this, right? Because like I've said over the last couple years about the EBT, the migrants coming over here getting the EBT. Said this is a setup. They're gonna end up taking that shit. Here we are. About the woman, the most viral video I have on TikTok right now is of this black lady in her car complaining about her not getting EBT or whatever, right? And just the reactions and a lot of the goddamn racist comments and them laughing at her. I'm like, they're gonna gut that shit. And it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna feel vindicated by it. There are people that would rather spite their face being the United States, to spite people like her. You understand? Even if they grandma get EBT, even if their grandma and granddaddy is retired and hurting and white and getting EBT in Montana somewhere, they'd rather gut that system and make they people suffer so that fat black lady can't eat. They literally would. I've literally heard people say, well, we have to go through this suffering in order to fix the system. We ain't fixing shit. We're about to crash, bro, together. I don't give a fuck what your demographic is. That's what this is. So with that being said, I hope you guys are prepared. I hope you guys, if you do get EBT, have other income coming in, or at least have people that can support you. I hope that this makes Thanksgiving this brings people together for Thanksgiving because people may not be on their own. People may need family in order to be able to eat. Going into Christmas, maybe this will show what the holidays are really about because people ain't affording to get $700 goddamn game systems and fucking shit. Like it's out of hand at this point, y'all. It's the haves and the have-nots. Like I said, they want to gut the middle class. They want to and for the poor, they want to stump on their neck and keep you down as much as they can. And this EBT system situation going into the holidays is crazy work. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.